Joining us now, the A-Team, author, columnist for the Association of Mature Adults, Jedediah Bila, former prosecutor, Fox News legal analyst, Wiehl, veteran Democratic strategist and pollster, Sheinkoph. Jedediah, let's start with first gun control. The president is making it clear he's going to advance it, as is Senator Feinstein and others. Your reaction?
I'm not a supporter of gun control because I don't want to disarm people who are law-abiding citizens exercising their Second Amendment rights. I think that having people who are law-abiding citizens have weapons makes criminals scared. Makes them. That's why criminals go to these gun-free zones all the time, like schools and malls, because they know that they're not going to be faced with any real resistance.
What do you think of Governor Perry's call to arm teachers and others?
Well, I used to be a teacher in a school, and I have a little bit of concern about that because I've seen difficult schools, and I know that it can get very tense in those classrooms, and I would be concerned about teachers maybe not keeping their eye on their weapon all the time. Could a student seize that weapon? Could be a very dangerous circumstance, but having an armed guard outside the school is an option that could work.
I'm totally with you. I do not think the answer is arming civilians, people that are not used to operating guns. And I disagree with you, though, in the sense that, you know, in Connecticut, that this gun, this assault rifle, was absolutely legal under Connecticut law. Who in their home needs an assault rifle with a magazine of 30 counts? I mean, it just doesn't.
We need to protect sportsmen's rights. And sportsmen, last time I looked, nobody's taking AK-47 out to go and kill Bambi. This is nuts. We don't need those guns out there. We need stronger laws against straw buyers at these gun shows, and we need to get the Brady Bill reenacted as quickly as possible. Why? So we can at least have an enforcement way to stop this craziness. Now, that doesn't take guns away from people who need them. But by the way, there's some people ought not to have them.
I hear this, and I understand the reflex. We've seen it time and time again, tragically. But what I don't understand, and we went through in the Chalk Talk tonight, the numbers of people in this country who require mental health treatment, the numbers of people who are not getting that treatment, the numbers of people, and we do not have the facts and the details, so I'm going to only reference what happened in Newtown, Connecticut. But the fact is, this was a young man deeply, deeply mentally disturbed who did not get treatment. We understand, at least from one source near the family, that his mother was about to have him committed for psychiatric help. The process took too long, it took her too long, and the result is horrific. But when we come back, I want to talk about that and the fact that no amount of gun legislation will solve the pain and the suffering and the failure to treat so many of our fellow citizens. We're coming right back with the A-Team. Stay with us. We're back with the A-Team. Gun control, mental illness, what we can do about it, at least we...
And you were just talking about how the mother was trying to get him committed. Then the courts get involved because to try to...
Waiting for a hearing.
Waiting for a hearing. To try to get an involuntary commitment on a 20-year-old young man is very, very difficult. And, you know, it's taking a lot of time. It should not be that way. When the signs are so clear, as they were in this case, then action needs to be taken right away, and I don't understand why that didn't happen, except I can tell you the lawyers and the courts step in.
It didn't happen in this case with respect to medications and things of that sort, but I think we really need to re-examine some of these medications and potential side effects. A lot of people who are involved in these mass shootings are on antidepressants or on other medications, and I've taught in schools where I've seen kids on medication for everything from ADD to anxiety to depression. Violent outbursts, they become completely different people. So I think that's a factor, and parental involvement and monitoring that situation is super important.
But for somebody that really does have a mental health problem, and Lou was talking earlier about we have 60 million people in this country, 20% with mental health issues. If medication can help...
This is all well and good. The trick is to keep the guns out of their hands because they are mentally ill and they shouldn't have access to Glocks or anything else that can cause death to people.
The law did keep guns out of his hand, though. He tried to get a legal gun, and he wasn't able to get it. He stole someone else's weapon. So if you look at the actual law that was in place, so the problem is that you can't disarm law-abiding citizens in an effort to tend to these people who will steal, who will go by illegal means to get these weapons. You have to find a balance in the system.
The politics of this, Hank, the politics of this.
Yep.
It's sort of an easy reflex, as many are doing.
Sure.
Say gun control. It's not an easy reflex to say we've got to assess how we're treating the mentally ill, how we're providing treatment, how we're talking about this issue amongst ourselves. because there has, as the Colonel said earlier in this broadcast, we've had guns in this country since before its founding, obviously, since its discovery. And the fact is, we've never had this kind of activity before. Yeah. It's a societal and psychological problem. Absolutely. We've got to acknowledge that. Earp
understood gun control. When you came into a town where he was the marshal, he took the guns away from people who had them, hoisted them, put them away, so they couldn't go around killing people. That's pretty good kind of gun control.
It's gun control, but
have to call the Second Amendment, though. So we have to balance
gun control in place
I love it.
already.
We get to Wyatt Earp.
It's just a matter.
Hank Sheinkoph.
Yeah, I think you're
going
exactly
into Dodge City.
That's it, my brother.
No, it was Tombstone. Tombstone.
Take the guns away from crazy
talking about
people.
these issues because it's not a pleasant thing to talk about mental health, but we have to.
And it's interesting that that there is, what's the clinical term for it amongst shrinks? Avoidance.
Avoidance.
We're not going to avoid it here. We thank you all for being here to offer your perspectives. Jedediah, Bila, Wiehl, Hank Sheinkoph.